In the boxers, what do they practice? How do they practice? Yeah, they don't practice on their spouses. You have, as they say, a box, and then you keep on playing with the rubber or, rubber ball, and you keep on hitting it, da-dang, 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 like that. So the master is your gunny bag kind of a thing with whom you keep fighting. Surrender to me is like a fight you have, inner war. And why would you surrender to a person whom you don't even know? Right? So I find, and also don't expect anyone to surrender. But without this surrender, you can progress up to a certain extent, but not beyond that. You will enjoy the effects of meditation, okay, but to go beyond and become something, you'll have to surrender. And this master we call is not a person, it's a principle. And as you say, one master comes, successor comes, like Lalaji was there, and then Babuji came into picture, and then Chariji came, and now that's my turn at the moment. Are these individuals, do we have to surrender to these individuals? Think over it. It's not the person. Let me put it another way. When a river starts moving from the mountains, the origin of Ganga, river Ganga, is in Gangotri, up high in the mountains of Himalayas, where little water trickles, little by little, and other tributaries of other water bodies also join. When it comes to the plains around Delhi area, it becomes so wide and huge. And then when it moves further in UP, and then into Bihar, and then into West Bengal, the names keep changing. Bhagirathi, Ganga, it assumes a different name, you see. But the water, the river is the same. See, so the surrendering is not to an individual, but to this principle, the spirit behind the movement, spirit behind the transmission, spirit behind your inner voice, and surrendering ultimately to the existence itself. We find problem even surrendering to our own heart's voice, let alone surrender to another person's heart's voice. So our exercise begins with our own heart. Am I able to listen to my heart and follow the dictums of my heart and see the results? Whenever I have put a stone over my heart and say, okay, keep quiet, let me do this. I love to do this. I like to do this now. I don't like this person, but I need to go on a date with this person. What happens then? But when your heart says, do this, and you say, no, I don't want to do this, it's very difficult, then you have always suffered. See, whenever you don't listen to the heart, or if you put it differently, the conscience of your heart, then you have not listened. You have not surrendered even to your own self. And later on we realize that when I begin to surrender to myself, meaning listening to my heart's voice more and more, then we realize that yes, the self within me and the spirit of the master, they're both same. There is no difference. So always listen to your heart. See? And that's why we meditate on the presence of divinity in the heart. We purify our heart. We become purer and simpler in the process. And we become a right vessel for Lord to reside in our heart. See, in such a heart, as they say, there is a nice thing about Bible. Bible has a lot of what we call so-called anticipation or the motivation towards the heaven. But there is little problem with that because the heaven is not a physical dimension. When our heart becomes purer and loving and simpler, God cannot but get attracted and settle in our heart for good. And then the heart becomes heavenly. And you start enjoying the bliss. Moment we go against the dictums of the heart, becomes more complex and impure, then the heart continues to suffer with emotions, depressions, anxiety. That is hell. And if you have to go further, though we don't believe in sin and Sahaj Marg way of thinking, but when you look at Judaism and in Jewish tradition, sin, S-I-N, sin, it means you have deviated from the main pursuit, main source, main goal. There is what we call, Babuji calls it as a curvature. You are supposed to go like this, but you have made a U-turn. That is sin. When your heart is telling you to go in this direction and you say, no, I have to go in this direction. Changing your direction against your heart is also sin. Because it is this sin that makes you suffer. Nobody is going to give you punishment. No one can give you worse punishment than yourself.